everybody. Welcome to the Meriwether County Board of Commissioners meeting, February 12th, 2020. We'll call this meeting to order, and if you can, please stand for the invocation followed by the pledge of allegiance.
Our Father, who is in heaven and earth, we thank you for allowing us this opportunity to gather here once more and again. We ask that you lead and guide us to make wise decisions for Meriwether County. We pray that you will give us wisdom, knowledge, love, and understanding, that we may remove ourselves out of this mess and put you in front. These things and all things we ask of you in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we will move to the second item on the agenda this morning, and that is to adopt the agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
Are we supposed to add to the agenda?
Yes.
About the discussion?
We do. We also have an appointment of Lisa Thompson to the Joint IDA Authority for Meriwether County and Hogansville. And I'd sent out some information to everyone yesterday afternoon on the Second Amendment issue that we had been talking, they've been asked to consider. And that was, a sanctuary county in support of Second Amendment rights. And I've got some copies of that here. I'll pass out here in just a moment to everybody. So we do need to add those two.
So Lisa Thompson to the Joint Authority Committee, and then
Discussion of resolution declaring Meriwether County Second Amendment sanctuary.
It'll be 8 and 9, is that correct?
Having heard that, Mr. Chair, I will change my motion to include 8 and 9 under new business.
okay, we have a motion to add number 8 and number 9 under new business. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Motion carries. All right, item number 3, we have the minutes for January 28, 2020 work session at 4:30. Has everyone had a chance to read those? If you have, if there's no need for a change, we'll get a motion to accept.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. All right, minutes for January 28, 2020, our regular meeting at 6 p.m. If there are no changes needed, I have a motion to accept.
One change I did note, Mr. William Briggs is actually Willis Briggs over in the public comment. Other than that, I move to accept.
Okay, so we have a motion to make the change from William to Willis Briggs. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Item number 4 is municipal comments. We have Mayor Cuddy, Lucasville.
I have nothing to contribute to your meeting. I am delighted to be here and looking forward to the opportunity. So,
Thank you very much. And it was good to see you at the pancake breakfast.
good to be there.
And Doug from Manchester.
Good morning. I have nothing to share this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. We will move to the constitutional officers.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Can I make a comment under municipal comments about Warm Springs?
Sure.
Just so everybody knows, former Mayor Bob Prater's wife passed away yesterday morning. And her funeral will be Friday evening, but I just thought everybody would like to know that. He was actually in India when it happened. He's coming back in tomorrow.
It's Friday night.
Friday night, actually, at Harmony Church. I think it's at 6:30, I think.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just a visitation.
That's the funeral, actually, the visit, it's something on, I'll look it up, see what the visitation is. I'm sorry, I should have looked that up.
Thank you. All right, I don't see any constitutional officers, so we will move to department heads. Skip, anybody?
No.
Al Bonds?
Very briefly, just want to get some numbers that I didn't have last week.
And January calls were at 390. very typical. The only numbers worth note, I think, were NBCs were 18, so we're pretty busy with some car wrecks. Sometimes that can sound a little daunting, but a lot of those are just they're not large scale, they're not big, not a lot of people getting hurt, those kind of things. Along with 3 structure fires, and again, those are kind of likewise, nothing major, no big things, and those numbers are actually a little down, so we're kind of pleased to see that. The one numbers that I didn't have for you last meeting for the billing for 2019, we ended up at about, the collections actually, I'm sorry, 875 and 792, 875,000. That's very close to where we were last year. It's up about $5,000, so we were just right tracking, I think, where we should be. Probably maybe a little bit of increase would have been nice, but January numbers were at $71,057, so we're doing okay there too. So. And that's about all I have. Just want to say that I'm very excited about the progress at Pebblebrook and Woodbury. That's, we're prepared. We already have the staff ready to go in them. So as soon as we get the ability to do that, hopefully in a few months we'll be rock and rolling on this side of the county too.
One quick question.
Yes, sir.
What was the final outcome? What did y'all decide on the Mountain View fire?
Okay, forgive me, it took me a second. That was a heating element that, for whatever reason, I don't want to point any fingers, but I think maybe there was an accumulation of dust and debris that hadn't been cleaned out in a while.
Just strictly was duct fire, like you said?
It was a duct fire. It was contained to the duct, and the scare was, usually we see a lot of alarms, and I hate to admit that sometimes we don't treat them as seriously as we should, but there was smoke involved with this one, so that just amps everybody up. And the one good thing about that whole facility is, the way it's built, there's not a lot of fire load. It's not going to catch and burn, but the scare was the smoke, and in and around the children too. And John only knows, which of these children may have respiratory issues. So we were very fortunate with that. We assisted with cleaning that air and ventilating the building, the cafeteria, and luckily it was just confined to the cafeteria. So I'm not sure if they made repairs, but I don't think it's going to be really expensive. Maybe contain that just to the heating element. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. Bill call for.
Of course, Public Works is kind of struggling today, had some rain and the road repairs, but we've been working on a project at the airport for clearing safety zone, and the fire stations are coming along okay, I would say, with whether the steel structures up at Pebblebrook and the steel's on the ground at Woodbury.
Part of it's upright now.
Pardon?
Part of it is upright.
And we got a sheet. But the inmate crew has been working now for a couple of weeks, and we've had them cutting with bush action chainsaws at the airport, cutting a lot of trees that we're unable to get with machines, things like that. They've been picking up paper and litter in a few places and cutting limbs and trees back out of the right of us so that the mowers can cut. So trying to get that, and it's working out pretty well so far. Other than that, I've just been basically working on making some changes or suggestions to all the job descriptions for Public Works.
Do you have any additional road washouts or anything with all the rains?
We were very lucky on the past 2 rains. But right now we're okay.
We'll just pray for a little dry.
A couple of weeks.
All right.
That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Ted?
Good morning, all.
Morning.
May I ask you to take one and pass it down, please? Just want to give you some quick updated numbers for January. You have a list with our new Safe Built program, which gives you a lot more information on there, shows you where it's at, the actual permit numbers, and more information on what it is that was actually permitted. So for the month of January, we had about $2.5 million in increase. So you have all that information, and again, the district information on the far left will show whose district these items are in. So if you want to go along and see what kind of progress you've got, you do have these addresses to take a look. Also, when we looked at the 2019 calendar year, just going to give you an overall number. It looks like we had a little better than $30 million in valuation increase based on our permitting. So we're hoping to have that plus a whole lot more for this year, 2020. We had our builders meeting yesterday, There was probably about 15, 17 people in attendance. It was a very positive meeting, and the builders are excited to be here. They are working well with us in our transferring over to the Safe Build program. The Safe Build people actually hosted the program for us and provided lunch. Any questions that any of the builders or the contractors had, they were there to address and talk about. One of the biggest things that we addressed in the meeting was actually what kind of inspections are going to be required so that they know exactly what we're looking at. There's no question as to when they need an inspection, how that process goes all the way through to where they actually get their certificate of occupancy. So we'll continue to give you updates on that, but so far it's working very smoothly. We appreciate what they do. There's a lot of communication with the builders, the inspectors, and our office, so everyone gets instantaneous results whenever an inspection's done, which is something we truly appreciate. So if there's any questions, or if they possibly get a fail, it gives them the detail on what it is to make a correction so that it will pass on the next inspection. So we're real excited about that, and it seems to be working really well.
So you all got the software installed and been trained?
Yes, sir. Everything's in place, and yesterday after that meeting, the Safe Build gentleman and tech came to our office, and the business license module has been put in place, and we're doing some testing on that. So hopefully next year we'll have a whole new system. We'll be able to do a lot of stuff online versus actually having to come into the office. So we're excited about that. We got some time to work on it. We're also going to include like land disturbance permitting and some of the zoning and variance information as well. All of that can be done with their software. It's all included at no additional cost to us. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Also, Jacqueline and I both attended the winter conference for the Georgia Association for Zoning Administrators, another two-day conference that gave us a lot of information, and they always share things that are trending as well as all kinds of legal updates. So we always get a lot out of that, and that's the second one we've attended in the last year. So we appreciate the opportunity to be able to attend those and bring that knowledge back and put it into use in our county. Thank you.
Jackie. Ms. Jane.
Nothing at this time.
All right. Let's see. Action report.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I hope y'all are doing well. Of course, we're extremely busy in 4-H. We have started camp sign-up. We started on Friday, and when I looked before I left the office, we have 25 4-Hers that are attending summer camp, so we're very excited about that. Our Vidalia onion sale has started, so if you want to purchase any Vidalia onions, Ms. Beverly has an order form that you can see her, or even better, if you know of a 4-Her going to camp, reach out to them so that they can get the credit. Ms. Beverly will get lots of credit for having the sign up, but if you do know a 4-Her, I would rather them get the credit for it. And Ms. Beverly can go to camp too. Also, at last month's meeting, Carolyn talked about Leadership Meriwether, Youth Leadership Meriwether. We have decided to move that to the fall and not start. We were going to start this month, but we just needed a little more time to plan and coordinate our speakers for that. So that will start in September of 2020. And it's for high school students, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. They need to live in Meriwether County to participate. They can go to any of the schools, homeschool, but they have to live here in Meriwether County. We had a great Saturday 2 weeks ago on February 1st at our Project Achievement, our public speaking contest. We had the second highest number of winners. We had the second highest number of participation increase as well. So I'm very proud of those 4th, 5th, and 6th graders from Meriwether County. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. All right, I think that covers all the department heads. We have no need for public hearing, correct? All right. So we will move to item 8, unfinished business, appointment to Recreation Advisory Board at large member. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chair, I would like to put in a motion that I be appointed to the board at large. I have a passion for this recreation board. I want to see it succeed, and I have the time. So therefore, I motion that I be appointed to the board.
Second.
All right.
Go ahead.
I actually did have an appointment or a motion that I wanted to make to the board also. How do we need to do that, Michael?
You have a motion already on the table
And a second.
from Ms. Bray, so you need to resolve that before you put another item on.
Okay. I have a motion and a second to place Mary Gray as the at-large Recreation Advisory Board member. We have a second. All in favor? Motion carried. All right. We will move to the next item, appointment to the Planning Commission, District 4, that is mine. I make a motion to place Mr. Dan Chapman back on the board, and that is in form of a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. All right. New business. We have CHP annual update. Michelle?
Hi, thank you all for allowing me to be here today. You all should have in your packet our wellness success flyer, and it includes the highlights from last year's screening. We had some great improvements. We actually decreased the high-risk population group from 69.6% to 64.3%, and that's a significant decrease in that group. And some of the other successes I'd like to highlight, we had a significant decrease also in hypertension, high blood pressure, decreased overall from 13 down to 7% among all employees. And we had 7 people actually quit tobacco last year, and that's out of, I think we have about 33, 35 that started out that year that actually quit. And we had another significant decrease in people who have pre-diabetes. So they're in the range, their blood sugar or their A1C is running high, but they're not quite considered a diabetic, and that decreased from 36 to 30%. So all of those changes are, very significant changes in those health risk factors. Last year was the first year that we implemented the Wellness Warrior program, so you'll also see a picture of the 2 employees who were chosen as wellness warriors, and this is just a way to highlight employees who made significant changes during the program year to improve, their overall health and well-being. We continue to have a great participation rate. We actually screened about 141 employees, and that was over a 2-day time period, so it was very busy at those screenings, and so that means that we had about a 93.4% participation in the screening. And I'm pleased to report to you that there were only 10 employees who waived follow-up coaching that went through the screening. So the majority of the employees did choose to continue to meet with me. And currently, we have added 14 new employees to the wellness program this year. So that fire department and public safety has kept me really busy with that. Those employees are enrolled and participating. We're kind of at the point in the program year where after the end of this month, if we have new hire employees come on, we won't be screening them until June. So we're going to be entering the 4th quarter of the program in March. A couple of things that we have coming up that are new this year is we're going to be rolling out the tobacco cessation program at the end of this month. It's starting the week of February the 25th. And then the week following that, the first week of March, we're rolling out a weight management program. So we've done the tobacco cessation program before, not the weight management program. And I'm looking forward to doing both of those programs and seeing some good outcomes, from that as well. Does anybody have any specific questions about the program?
I actually do. That was a big change in the hypertension, 13 to 7%. Are those the same employees over a year period, or is it some have left and that may have decreased those percentages? Or
There's, I don't know if any of those employees were ones that, they wouldn't have been ones that left. What we did is we looked at the data from the 2018 screening and the 2019 screening, and that's where this decrease came from. So any employees that were left would have been, removed from that during that time period. And I can honestly tell you that some of those changes were prompted by employees Some of them didn't know they had high blood pressure until the screening, and then they followed up with a physician and got put on medication. We always have a handful of employees who, for various reasons, are not taking their prescribed blood pressure medications, as they're supposed to, and so have gotten back on their medications. I actually have, when we find an employee with high blood pressure, we issue a referral to them, and if they're at risk, if they're in a certain range, and then we have some that are immediate referrals. We actually didn't have but 2 immediate referrals this year. So the majority of those were people who were kind of in that, their blood pressure was elevated, but they weren't, at a point where they needed to be seen by a physician immediately. And I actually looked at that data yesterday, and I have all but about 7 employees who haven't done any kind of follow-up yet with their physicians, and there's always that group of people too.
That's pretty impressive to drop that amount though, because people,
Yes.
maybe they're starting to realize that this is one of the major factors in future strokes that
Right,
they don't take.
right. It's, another, contributing factor is too, we had some people lose some significant amounts of weight over that 1-year time period, and a lot of them have continued in that path, and that makes a huge difference in the decrease in blood pressure as well.
Well, thank you
Okay,
very much.
thank you. I hope you all have a good day.
You too.
Thanks.
Anybody have anything?
Just to say what a good job Michelle does.
Absolutely.
Sounds like. All right. Number 2, under new business, ordinance 2020-01, an ordinance adopting and enacting a new code for the county of Meriwether, Georgia, providing for the repeal of certain ordinances not included therein, providing a penalty for the violation thereof, providing for the manner of amending such code, and providing when such code and this ordinance shall become effective.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Layman's term.
Yes.
Because I don't know what I can say.
Okay. What you just read was all of the huge amounts of paperwork and all we've gone through in reading the codes. I want to thank Beverly and Bill for their hard work on this. Allison worked on it as well. Major undertaking. This is the first time these has been codified, Beverly, since the 80s. Okay, so that's a major problem. We're asking that you guys, because Michael correctly pointed out to us this morning that this involves zoning and subdivision, even though we were not quite ready to do those today, we still need to be able to talk about those as we, what we'll basically ask you guys to do by ordinance is, eliminate this, re-adopt this, and this is with the changes here. We eliminated a lot of things. It just doesn't need to be there anymore, like all the phosphates and detergents that were there. Those have been taken care of at a higher level. We also have not completed the subdivision or the zoning changes. That's, as Michael was talking about this morning, as of yet. Our original plan was to maybe just ask you guys to adopt this and bring this back as an addendum. But with the time period we're going to have, which is what, Michael, 15 to...
15, sorry, it's got to be noticed 15 to 45, between 15 to 45 days before you adopt a zoning decision, which the readoption of the repeal and readoption of the zoning ordinance would classify. That would be the period of time in which you need to notice your hearing, so between 15 and 45 days.
So my recommendation would be the March 24th agenda, and that'll be an evening meeting, but it should not take long. In the meantime, what I also need to do is I got to work up the fees. You all remember we removed all the fees from the text of the ordinance in order we didn't have to change all the ordinances anytime we wanted to go or modify that about $10. So we'll have a fee schedule that we'll have with this. And while we have big things going on, I will make every attempt I can to have that subdivision and zoning looked at in time for this March 24th meeting as well.
So do we need to take any action today? We just need to accept.
Need you guys just to set a March 24th.
Okay.
It had to be a public hearing, I guess, right?
It's not a public hearing necessarily, it's just a noticed hearing.
Okay. So just, March 24th, is the time for us to present this and, for adoption. So,
Okay.
and any questions in the meantime, anybody please?
Mr. Chair, I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So, we've made a lot of changes.
Yes,
From
ma'am.
timber to a lot.
We have.
So, not to go over all of it, can we at least have a breakdown of just the main topic ones?
Sure.
I personally would like it, because we've discussed this several times.
Right.
Some of this was discussed 3 or 4 years ago, and I can't speak for the other board members, but my memory may not remember
Right.
all of the changes.
Yes.
So you can at least outline which of the basic ones we are changing, knowing that the subdivision ordinance has not been done,
Right.
and the zoning ordinance have not been done. But I know we've done something on timber,
Right.
we've done something on road closure, and so before I would like to just blanketly approve it, I'd like an outline of which ones we're making the major changes.
And we would do that. Everything is making changes because there was typos that were all
Right.
kinds of.
I understand that.
But we have done timber ordinances since we started.
The rock quarry,
We
the
did
text
that.
message. So we're talking a series of things that has happened in the past 4 or 5 years.
We're talking about a series of things really happened in the last year.
Here, okay. I just want to be clear.
We've done timber, we timbered and did a modification of timber. We did a sewer ordinance upgrade. We did a road abandonment ordinance. We did a permitted special use, which added the quarries allowed use. We did an occupational tax change with requiring the taxes. We did a jake breaking ordinance. We did a Lake Meriwether ordinance, and we did a special events ordinance. All of those have happened in a short period of time. And when we get to the presentation of that, we'll cover all of that. Plus, I'll flip through some of the other major changes, if any, that.
How long do you think it'll take to do the presentation? We may need to set it earlier than our regular scheduled meeting, just to have that.
We could do it as a, work session.
I thought we were trying to get away from every month work session.
I know we
Put
are.
ourselves
I
into
know we
it.
are. Yeah, why don't we just set it for like an hour,
So 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock? That'll be
On the
okay.
24th?
On the 24th. And then what that will do is give us plenty of time in case there's any questions. And I appreciate it. Again, I thank all the staff for all the work they've done, and Unicode. We had the pleasure of working with some very nice people there as well.
Just as a correction, what I said, I think public hearing is accurate.
Okay.
And that will allow our public hearing structure to stay in place, the time limits per side.
With the advertising and all.
Okay.
Any other commissioners have any comments?
No, I think whatever time we set should be dedicated just to this item.
Just to this.
So here's the recommendation from the attorney and from Mr. Gay. Need to set for March 24th, a public hearing to be at 5 p.m. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
All right, item number 3, request from Public Works to purchase one new 100 horsepower, what's RW?
Right away.
Okay, tractor and one new 60 horsepower right-of-way tractor. Bill?
Yeah. This goes kind of in conjunction with looking forward as well, because that tractor, we've had a world of trouble with. We can't keep it running on the right way. But Bill?
Yeah, and also, last year, y'all approved 2 100 horsepower tractors, and we ended up purchasing one. We're only able to get one, so that's, one of these is just a follow-up to that. And the 60 horsepower is a smaller tractor to clean up, and the bigger tractors pull the big fat one. But, we have a current unit that spent the summer in the shop in 2018.
Yeah.
And luckily it was under warranty, and the dealership gave a tractor to use during that summer.
Yeah.
But if this same condition reoccurs with that unit, it will not be under warranty, and we probably cannot get it back up free of charge. So we're recommending to replace that particular unit with this other 100 horsepower tractor.
What we'd like to do is declare that one surplus, and they can put it out to bid on
Good deal or
gov
something.
deals or something like that.
Right, we can do that two you're wanting to purchase. One is $30,439 and the other is $51,029.65.
Yes, sir, and that's under the Georgia State bid contract.
Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Okay.
Just give me some clarity, and I'll go back and look at the minutes. We approved earlier to purchase, I believe last year, 2 tractors, right? How many did we buy? Did we approve?
Last year it was approved a boom mower and 2 100 horsepower tractors. We got the boom mower and 1 100 horsepower.
So we didn't purchase the other?
That's, no, ma'am.
All right, so that is still the initial one that you're asking for now?
Yes, ma'am.
Just want to get clarity. So the other one that you're purchasing is just for what reason? So we have 2.
Replace.
So is the replacing,
It's replacing an older unit. They have an old John Deere, and it carries a single bush hog behind it, and it clings up between guide wires, power poles, and fences where these 10-foot batwing mowers cannot get.
And that's the one you want to surplus, to replace.
No, sir, I'm sorry. The one that's the 2015 is a 100 horsepower tractor, and it currently pulls a batwing.
We replaced it.
If it wasn't for some of the mechanical issues with that one, we might could make it through the summer without purchasing a 100, but we don't think that's gonna happen.
I guess what I'm trying to hear, I thought I heard you said that one was still under warranty, and because of that, you were able to get it fixed. Is that the one that's 2015?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And that's the one that we, make a recommendation that we declare it surplus and then put it on the gov deal auction.
But what you're saying in the write-up here, where I read, the tractor that was fixed and was out for a summer has got the same symptoms and about ready to go out again.
Yes, sir.
That's what I read.
Out of warranty.
But it wouldn't be covered under warranty this time?
Would not be covered under warranty. Then we would be short a piece of, short a tractor, and it would probably end up having to rent something.
So how do we plan to pay for these?
Bill, we got these under SPOS.
Either SPOS or T-SPOS, whichever one the board wants to do. Those dollars will start coming in probably May.
Do we need to make the decision today on where we want the money to come from?
I don't think we had to make that today. We would appreciate the decision on the tractors, because we need to get those in.
It says it's like a 6-week,
Yes.
that's correct.
We order them this
2
week.
6-week lead time.
Well, let me ask Michael, if we approve these today and we don't state where the money is to come from, is that going to be an issue if we decide to take it out of T-Splost at the time that the funds start coming in, if it's not specific?
I don't think so.
Okay. Just didn't want it to be an issue.
Yeah, I mean, we would probably recommend maybe SPOS.
I was like, we still got it splossed. I think we need to use it from there first.
We still have some funds in the 2014 SPOS, depending on when those tractors come in. We have to use that money. So if you want to go ahead and designate SPOS funds, that's $155.
So here are the recommendations from Bill and from there. What's the pleasure of the board?
I move we go ahead and make the purchase of the 100 horsepower tractor as well as the 60 horsepower tractor. And can I go ahead and include the surplus in this?
I'll do that second.
Or you want to make it another line?
It is another line.
Okay, that's fine.
I think that's all
I
right.
So
said
do we
make
need to
purchase.
indicate to come from SPOS?
Yeah.
All right. So we have a motion to move forward with the purchase of the 100 horsepower right-of-way tractor as well as the 60 horsepower right-of-way tractor from SPOS. Do we have a second? All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 4, request from Public Works to surplus the 2015 TS 6110 New Holland tractor, serial number, and allowed to be auctioned to the highest bidder. And we just discussed that. So what is the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion that we surplus the New Holland tractor.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Do you have a second? Have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. All right. I know that item number 5, we had actually discussed at our last work session, but it's back on here to schedule a T-Splost work session. And it is in the minutes that we had discussed to do it at 4:30 on our next
So
one.
I just wanted to verify that we would do it on the 25th at 4:30. And I also wanted to add that I appreciate if that could be the only item on that agenda.
Needs to be.
Sling on
And also, another request is, as it is a work session, we really need it to be with the board and the staff, because we have a lot of things to go over. And this is not really a time to discuss specific projects.
Right.
But it's discuss the layout and the structure of what we want to do. And so, would ask that we, set the meeting up
The
as that.
process more so than the particular projects.
Right, it'll be the process. We'll talk about dirt roads, paved roads, the culverts, the equipment, all of those things as part of it.
All right.
And I guess I would also like to, if the cities would like to attend as well, they're going to have some T-Splosh. And I know some of them this last time around have decided, hey, they would allow us to be able to do that as part of our package of the bids. So if the cities want to come and listen in, I think that'd be wonderful too.
All right. So here's the recommendation for T-Splosh work session on February 25th at 4:30 in the afternoon to discuss layout and structure of the T-Splosh only. What's the pleasure of the board?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 6, recommendations for Recreation Advisory Board Committee on Recreation Advisory Committee Ordinance. Mr. Dixon?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, we attended the Recreation Committee the other evening. There were 2 or 3 things they wanted to ask for consideration of the ordinance changes. And we were hoping to be able to have something for you guys, but we have not received, we called yesterday to see if they had their minutes or something together where we could bring it. So what I'd recommend on that is that we just maybe continue that to y'all's next meeting, because we called yesterday and as of today, we've not received anything back from them to say, hey, here are the items that we recommend.
So just table number 6.
Yes, sir.
Recommendation.
Yes, sir.
Here are the recommendations from Mr. Gay. Do I have a motion to table item number 6 on the under new business?
Would that be to the 25th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Move the table.
All right. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
The I think it'd be the 25th, I think it's
Yeah.
Thursday.
Be the 24th.
25th is our meeting at the end of the month.
Yeah. Okay, it's Tuesday.
Yeah, you're
Yes,
right.
it is.
25th.
We can discuss that there.
I know, I was thinking we had it Thursday.
All right, so we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Motion carried.
I thought we set that period for Thursday, that's my thing.
It's all right.
Been a long year.
First and 4:30 on the T-Splosh. All right, number 7 under new business, Ms. Shirley Louder to discuss repairs to Hill Haven Road. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank y'all for giving me the opportunity to speak. First of all, I am Shirley Louder. I'm a resident of Meriwether County. I live on Hill Haven Road. I've been there almost 25 years. I pay city and county tax. I vote. I encourage others to vote as well. Our road on the south end near Highway 100 has a hole in it, has a gap in it. It's deep. I'm a walker, and also I travel that road. You can't see. I have asked many county employees. I've been to some of your meetings, and I wave them down and say, hey, when y'all gonna fix our road over here? I get the reply, we would love to fix that road, Ms. Louder, but we don't have the money. And we're not experienced to fix what's going on here with that road. Well, you wait, you look at the papers to see, okay, maybe somewhere down in here that they say that we're gonna go over there and fix Hill Haven Road. I haven't seen it. It's a dangerous road to travel on. It's an access road to people getting through and from work and to their homes and their destination. I was sitting there this morning listening to all the traffic that goes up and down the road on Hill Haven. We have the fire department on one end. We have the paramedics on that road. We have school buses travel that road. We have transportation buses travel that road. Not to count the records trucks that going through there. You got cars and trucks traveling on our road. I just don't want it to be said that someone has gotten hurt or lost their life because of the collapsed road down there. We voted on the splosh. It passed. Has the money come in? I don't know. I don't know what you all are waiting on. The road is well traveled, like I said, by many. As the residents are standing there, and I saw it on the post, you know, someone posted about some other road had happened over there when it started raining last week ago. This young lady said, it happened again. Somebody chimed in and said, this is a man that traveled this road on Hill Haven. He doesn't live there on Hill Haven. I know just about everybody live on Hill Haven. He said, this is what's going to happen on Hill Haven Road. I chimed in and I said, you are correct. I've been asking, been looking at the papers trying to see when are they going to fix our road. Or are they waiting to get a call to say, hey, someone down in that hole down there on Hill Haven. People have moved the barriers. But I applaud the county workers. When they found out somebody had moved those barriers, they are back out there and putting those barriers up. But you all, when it started, it was like this. Now, I don't know if any of y'all travel that road. It's like this now. You go down, whoop, you praying, oh, don't let Shirley get in that hole. Don't let me come down there and see a bus. Don't went in that hole. I look around and go around and see what's going down in Meriwether County. I saw the county down there in Warm Spring. I heard y'all say something about the airport. Y'all tore down that building. I went down there, had gravel knee high over there, way over my head. What are they doing over there? And that's in Meriwether County. That y'all had funds to go out there, fix the airport. No cars, no trucks travel on those roads. But y'all found money to fix those roads. We're citizens that we pay taxes for you all to try to get our road fixed. And I'm speaking on the behalf of people that lives on Hill Haven, the people that travel that road. We need our road fixed. We don't need it to say, oh, what's going on down there? Somebody done had an accident down there. I'm just voicing my opinion and saying it's a hazardous. Like I say, it started out like this. Now it's like this. And it started out as a lowercase u. Now it's a capital U, or uppercase U. And it's going over to the side. It got a little crack that I see. I stop, look. Now I come, and by the way, I drove across that. But I don't do it at night. No, I don't travel that end of the road at night. If I got to go all the way to town to get in to my house on the upper end, that's where I go. So I'm asking the board, what are you all going to do to try to fix our road? And furthermore, I don't want Meriwether County, you wouldn't want Meriwether County to appear on the news or social media for something bad, tragedy events that we could have fixed this problem. We're going to be on social media, whether it's bad news. Why don't we be on social media news for some good news from Meriwether County? I would hate for us to be on the news where you're going to have these Channel 5, Channel 3, they're going to be over here, they're going to be on Hill Haven, they're going to be at the courthouse square saying, this is what happened over here on Hill Haven because the county did not see fit to get some money somewhere and fix this road. Or it could be another road. It don't have to be the road I live on. Also, with my closing, when I called to ask to speak here about the getting on the agenda, Miss Beverly, she was good until I told her what I was going to speak about. I said the road on Hill Haven. She said, oh, here's somebody else coming in the office. Let you talk to them. I said, ma'am, I don't want to talk to them. I want to talk. Anyway, she gave the phone to him. I forget it was him. I didn't know his name. And I listened to him. I said, sir, I appreciate what you're saying. I'm trying to be professional. You professional, cause I work with the public every day. Every last one of my jobs. I gotta be professional to people. So I said, okay, I see what you're saying. I said, get a phone back to Miss Beverly. I said, Miss Beverly, I still want to be on the agenda. Click.
No, I put you on the agenda, I didn't click.
Yeah, you were.
No, ma'am, absolutely not.
But
I would never do that with
Okay,
ever.
well,
I
when I told
No,
him,
ma'am.
I said, let me speak back to Miss Beverly. And I said, Miss Beverly, I still want to be on the agenda. You did not say, okay, I'll contact you, thank you. I heard the phone say,
No, ma'am,
click.
I can promise you, Ms. Lauer, I would never in a meeting do that. I don't know what happened to that, but I put my hand on the Bible, I would never do anything like that.
Ms.
But
Loud,
anyway, I appreciate y'all allowing me to speak.
well, Ms. Loud, what I'll say is I am not familiar with that road, but I will ride it, and I apologize for that. Sometimes we don't get to each other's ends.
Yes.
But I will ride that. But I would like to hear from Mr. Gay and maybe Bill
Yeah.
as to the situation on Hill Haven and what we may be planning to do.
And that's what we were trying to get out to Ms. Louder, where she would understand. Number one, we monitor that road continues to be sure that the washout is not migrating from, okay? Bill, you check that road every few days, or if it rains hard.
Landmarks there that I go and measure.
Yes. And,
Especially after rain.
and the road is not closed. Now, y'all remember when this rain event happened, we had about 8 or 9 that closed. We had one family that didn't have access to their property for like 3 months. 14 roads. And we repaired all but 2. One of them's Hill Haven, one of them's Owen roads. The reason we haven't repaired those is twofold. One, we didn't have the capability of doing it in-house. It's too big of a project. Number 2, we didn't have the dollars then because when these washed out, T-Splosh was not in place. And we mentioned in the T-Splosh that these are some of the things we would like to do. So the road is not closed, hasn't been closed. It is beyond our ability to repair it. Now, as I said earlier, until the passage of T-Splosh, we didn't have dollars to do it. This is not a $50 project. This is a $400,000 or $500,000 project more than likely. It has rained continuously. Even if we were out there and did have the capability, it hasn't stopped raining long enough for us to do any construction projects hardly since December.
It's been almost 2 years.
No, ma'am, it has not been 2 years.
Since it's happened.
I don't think it's been 2 years.
Last summer.
Last summer. Okay, that's not 2 years. But anyway.
So is this one of the roads that's going to require a large pipe?
It's going to require a large pipe, plus it's deep. So it's one of those that we will do, we'll have to do it out. And if I will, could finish this, there were some other roads that were closed. We're right now, Bill has been working on a design build. This is something we already have, and what this does, it will move the project along faster now that we have a funding source. Because with this contract, instead of having to go out and get a design and turn around and bid it back out, they will bid the design in with the construction of the culvert. And we have Hill Haven Road, Owens Road on here. I'm going to, Bill's given me this draft. I'm going to read back over it, and we'll be ready to send this out. But because now we have some funding that we know it may get in here.
I think when it goes, the T-Splosh stuff hasn't come in yet. They won't start collecting it. And actually, they don't start collecting it until April. So it would be at least a month after that before we start collecting. And that was just by law. I mean, they won't go to 8% till then, so we don't have that money yet.
We're
That
going to
you
go
mentioned
ahead.
about the T-Splosh.
Yeah, and we're going to go ahead and get this out. That way, when those dollars come in, because we're going to have to give the contractors a lead time.
So those would just be RFPs?
They'll be right. There'll be actually bids for them to come back in.
Those 2
Yeah.
roads.
Yeah. So,
And those would be the first?
yeah, we're ready to go with these. I mean, other than this.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make some comments. I've heard what everybody said, and roads have always been and seem to always be a big discussion for Meriwether County. And knowing that this happened in June, that is a long time. And I know a lot of times we can't get things done because of not having funding. My point that I want to make, we're thankful that T-Splosh passed, but if it hadn't passed, we still would have to correct this.
So the question comes is, we've, and a lot of citizens have been very patient with road condition. When it's weather like today, there's nothing we can do. But when we have a situation of this magnitude, I think we do have to find a way to communicate more effective to the citizens, to let them know what we're doing and why it's taking as long as it's taking. They may not totally agree, but I think that's where communication is very crucial. I know this road is one where to get from 109 to 100, a lot of traffic goes through that. So I guess my main point is, yes, I'm thankful T-Splosh passed, but we also have to take in consideration that, and I thank Mr. Gay and all the work that they're doing, but to some degree, we kind of have to be a little ahead of it, get in front of this a little bit more. And I'm not saying we haven't done it, I'm just saying, once again, roads are such a big issue in this period of time.
It's
in my district, and this conversation has come up.
I'm sorry, I apologize to all of you, I wasn't finished, but I'll finish my comments. It's not in my district, but regardless of what district it's in, we have issues with making sure that our roads are being done and that we communicate with our citizens in a better way so they'll know what's going on. And Shirley, thank you for coming out and expressing your concerns. We all have these concerns too. I don't think it's isolated, but like you said, we are very fortunate there's not been any major catastrophe. So I have
I'll go there.
Okay, please do, see how far can you look down?
I'll wait.
Right.
Excuse me, excuse me, I like to say I'm finished talking, you know, so I heel back to the chairman, please. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right.
As Commissioner Hines stated, but to make a point, this is nothing new. I have brought this road up several times in our commissioner meeting, but I guess my main question is, can we get a date that this will go out to bid?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of putting this, we'll get it out. It'll be out this month for proposals. Again, if T-Splosh had not passed, we would be back talking to you guys about how to pay for it. We understand the road has to go. But you can't work on that road right now, right? And so, you know, a lot of the projects we like to get out, pave and everything, early spring, where they have the summer to work on. And so that's the issue with the timing of
But the
this.
thing is, Mr. Gay, we can't use this weather right here because, as pointed out, we have been from June, so it has not always been raining.
I understand that, but it has rained a lot. You didn't have dollars.
We've had rain for 4 years.
Yeah, so.
And not having the money also.
1,000 things that we have going on. I'm going to talk about that later.
When I say I'm not familiar with the road, I'm familiar with the situation, just not the road.
Mr. Chair, Ms. Louder, I'd like to identify with you. I've got exactly the same problem right around the corner from you called Strickland Town Road. Every time we get a major rain, I run over and check this thing to be sure the road hasn't washed away. And it's simply, we have tried several fixes, we've tried everything we can do within our resources, and we too are going to have to wait till we can get a big box culvert and a contractor in there to fix it, because I can't tell you what, at least 3 times in this last 6 months we had to block it. It's washed out that many times. And we go in and all we're really doing is putting gravel and soil back in there to get people across. The pavement no longer exists. So we're still, and that is a major, that road's traveled quite a bit. So we understand where you are, but you're not in this by yourself.
So at this point, what we're hoping is to send this out for a proposal, to get contractors to give us prices, so that we can do it. The money should start coming in May to us, so hopefully shortly thereafter, we can be on this road working.
Okay, like I say, we'll be back.
Mr.
Thank you,
Chairman,
Ms. Lund.
Ms. Lauer, I'd like to just give you some information. One thing you mentioned about the airport, and this would be just for information, all that was done, but that was money from the FAA. That wasn't our money, and sometimes we get money for grants or particular things, and you can't use it for anything but that, and that was strictly money from the FAA. It wasn't our taxpayers' money or whatever for the airport. So just understand, that's why, I mean, I know it looks, you look at it, you wonder why we're spending that, but there is explanations to things like that sometimes, so just want to share that with you.
Okay, I just, like I say, I just want to voice my opinion about it, because I come to some of the meetings, and I came to some of the meetings before Terrell went on his leave of absence. And that's when I said, well, okay, maybe, and I read the paper, come to the minutes, go online, look at the minutes, I'm trying to see when are you going to address this problem. Like I say, Hill Haven is not a road just them people travel on that road. A lot of people, traffic is on that road, and like I say, the ambulance with all the heavy equipment, that is heavy itself, and they travel that road all the time in the fire trucks and everything. We don't have that many 18-wheelers going across there. We do have some occasionally, but it's a very concern about, like I say, I just don't want us to be on the news for tragedy, for something that we could have said, if it's like your house. I don't have the money, but I got to find out how to fix this roof now. It's just raining. And that's what I'm asking you all to do. You didn't have the money, should have come together and say, what can we get some money somewhere to fix this road? This is a well-traveled road. It's just not a road sitting out there on somebody's property. So many people travel this road, and I was trying to give it time for you all to say, come on, we're going to fix this road. So it's almost June, be 2 years.
Well, thank you for coming before us and letting us
Be
know.
1 year, Jim, 1 year.
And hopefully we will be able to move forward from this point. I do apologize for not being able to take care of it sooner.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to number 8, appointing Lisa Thompson to the Joint Authority Committee. I think this is something that we failed to do last year, is that correct?
Yeah, we actually, I think she was just appointed, and so we really need to, we appointed a couple people at a previous meeting, but I think we failed to get her on that.
Okay. Well, hearing that, I'll make a motion to place her on the Joint Authority. There's a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. All right, item number 9, discussion resolution to 2A County for Meriwether County.
Okay.
After 2A is second amendment.
Second. We have been asked, as have a lot of other counties in the state of Georgia, to consider declaring Meriwether County as a Second Amendment sanctuary. We looked around, there are a lot of different proclamations and resolutions that are out there. Some are, very long, some are kind of contentious, some are very short, don't say a whole lot. So we tried to look at one if for y'all maybe to consider if you wanted to do this, that was somewhere in the middle. And we've given you all a copy of this today. And really what it says in a nutshell is that we, the Meriwether County supports the Second Amendment, which is the right to bear arms. It talks about the state constitutional provision. It talks about certain legislation introduced in the current session of the General Assembly and others that may be in the United States Congress could affect or infringe on the rights. It talks about that we're concerned about any passage of bill that would be interpreted as infringing on the rights. And then it goes on to express commitment to the rights of all citizens to keep and bear arms. And that we will oppose any law that would unconstitutionally restrict those rights. And that the board wishes to express its intent to stand in sanctuary county for Second Amendment rights and to oppose within the limits of the Constitution and the laws of the United States and the state of Georgia any efforts unconstitutionally to restrict such rights and use legal means at its disposal to protect the rights of citizens. And it goes on to say that the county therefore has declared Second Amendment sanctuary county Meriwether, and that having the ability to have lawful self-defense, community defense, sport shooting, game hunting, gun collecting is protected by the United States and Georgia constitutions, and it's kind of the fabric of our community, and that we urge the General Assembly U.S. Congress and other agencies not to adopt except for enacting provision that may infringe. And we're going to continue to take lawful action to protect and support the rights of citizens. And then it goes on to say that you guys will direct our office to send a copy of this resolution to the county's representatives in the General Assembly and the U.S. Congress and to the governor and to the sheriff of Marion County. I know I've got calls on this, and I'm sure you guys have as well. And so we went ahead and prepared this, as something for you guys.
I do have a question though. Does it need to be a resolution?
Well, one group did a proclamation.
Right.
And a proclamation just doesn't carry the weight that, a resolution does. We can do it either way. One just has a little more. But we had one resolution that was very long. It was like, it had a lot more clauses in it about posing and whatever. And we just tried to make it somewhat simple and straight to the point.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question and I would like the attorney to expound a little bit on this. There may be people who don't fully understand the purpose of this because we have the Second Amendment that gives you these rights anyway on the federal level. The state has certain. So can you just expound a little bit on what would be the main purpose for a county to do this? Or if they don't do it, what are the pros and cons?
I'll do my best in that regard. It's a little academic.
Okay.
For the most part, I don't think you're going to see a law enacted in Georgia or the U.S. currently that's going to make major changes. But what you're seeing in other states, other jurisdictions, you are having, for instance, Virginia, I believe, did pass, or it's close to passing, a restriction or an increased restrictions. So it's more reactive in those jurisdictions. I think it's proactive in this jurisdiction, if that makes any sense. As far as the consequences,
Maybe that's not the appropriate word, not consequences.
the pros and cons,
Pros and cons.
you're getting ahead of it from a pro standpoint. From a con standpoint, the possible ramifications you can look at is you have citizens, who are opposed, who could file lawsuits. Whether or not those lawsuits are having any validity is a different question, but it could tie up resources in that regard. You also have the possibility, and this has been used in federal context, when a law is passed federally or at a higher level, and a local or a lesser level is not adhering to whatever the law is, you have seen in the past they'll use the power of the purse, funding, grants, things of that nature will be restricted or can be restricted. They can be conditionally tied to local jurisdictions or complying with what they want the laws to be. So it's just something to keep in mind from a long-term perspective. You saw it, I think the best example is when they wanted to raise the drinking age from 18 to 21. There was a condition, and I think Louisiana was actually the last to fall in line, but there was a condition that essentially said we're not going to give you any transportation funding, interstate funding, anything until all states, until you fall in line. You go down and look at some of the Louisiana roads, they're a good 15 years behind some of the rest of the nation, so to speak. So it's just just something to think about. Whether or not that would actually be done, it's a hypothetical at this point.
Thank you for your input. Appreciate it.
All right, so what do we need to do from this point?
If, it's kind of back to the board says, if y'all want to move forward with this, you could do a motion to, to pass it. You could ask us to change it, whatever you guys, want.
We have to advertise it first, right? Or no? Not for resolution. Okay.
I personally would like to see us do it. I know I've been contacted by several, and I'm assuming others have too. I've received some emails and letters on it, and just as Michael said, it's more of a proactive thing. I don't want to see us be in the state Virginia's in having to be reactive to something that's happening like this. This is one of our constitutional rights. And yeah, somebody can always hold it over your head for funding or whatever. And hopefully this is not going to come to this on the national or the state level. I don't see it happening on the state level anytime soon, but I wouldn't put it past happening on the federal level.
So is that a motion?
Well, I'll make it a form of a motion.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Is that something I need to sign once you get the official?
Yeah.
All right. All right, that takes care of our new business. We will move on to report from our finance director, Mr. Bill.
You've got several reports to turn over. The first one is the bank balance. You see, we're in good shape with the general fund. Even though it's $4.6 million, that's a lot, extremely lot of money. But if you jump over to the property tax analysis, you'll see we've only got, the tax commission only has another $900,000 to collect. So that $900,000 plus that 4.6 has got to last us the rest of this year. So even though that's a lot of money, it's, we'll have to work to make that stretch to the end of the year. I look back at this time last year, in January of 2019, we had 4.674 million, so that's pretty close to what we had last year. But one caveat is that at this point last year, we had the limited funds, but at this point this year, we don't have those yet, so that's a plus. That's about 800,000. We'll get those pretty soon, so there's no concern.
They've been submitted, but the state went to an online process.
That's best
It's best everything done.
Our district O&M remains pretty steady, and what we're doing there, as well as funding the fire district operations with the fire department, we're using those funds as well, along with the bond funds, to finish the remaining fire stations. So that looks like a lot of money, but it's all been committed. On the property tax analysis, we're at 86% collections. And I talked to the tax commissioner's office this morning, and the delinquency notices are going out next week, and they're anticipating a tax sale probably around late April, early May. That's just an estimate. I don't want to hold them to that, but that's what their plan is. To try to collect some more of these monies. And looking at the reports they gave me last week, they collected money in all of the years that are on this spreadsheet. I went back to 2009, they collected a couple of $1,000 there, which is pretty phenomenal. We still have 100,000 left in 2018, as well as the 900 for 2019.
So a little over $1 million to collect.
Correct. The last report is just a budget analysis. Take this home and review it. Based on the 3 months that we did into the fiscal year at the end of December, it gives us 75% remaining in the budget. And if you look at that far right column, most of the departments are at the 75%. There's a couple of exceptions, and we'll be looking at those. The thing that we look closely most at is what percentage of your personnel budget you have left. Most of the departments, with the exception of maybe one, are at that 75% level or higher. We'll be looking at that department that is less than that 75. But overall, we're right at the 75% figure for all the departments. And revenue, you only got 50% remaining to collect. So, you got to make that 4.6 million stretch to the end of the fiscal year. And when you have a chance to review this and have any questions, just let me know and I'll be glad to answer.
Will do. Any commissioners have any questions?
That's a lot of information.
Buster, you're in trouble. We'll give him just a minute.
Forgive my tardiness there.
All right, thank you very much, Bill. We'll move on to report from our county administrator.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, thank you. Appreciate it. I'm still working on setting up a GDOT meeting to discuss T-Splost. I've contacted them. They have a new transportation planning director for the state that they're waiting for her to come on board. And as soon as she's there, they will move forward with scheduling that meeting for us. The January methane monitoring reports come back from the landfill. Everything is fine. There is a GDOT detour meeting that's coming up. I think this affects really right outside of our county, but it is on February 27th. They're going to hold it in Talbotton. And what they're looking to do is to talk about the project that replaces bridges at State Route 22 at South Fork Creek, State Route 22 at Richland Creek, and State Route 190 at North Fork Southern. And really not familiar with those bridges, but we'll have everybody a copy of this. So if anybody wants to attend, or you see there's an issue, I'll be happy to attend. I think it's going to impact people maybe to and from our county than anybody right here in the county. Airport, I know it was mentioned earlier, did a lot of work at the airport. The airport inspection is scheduled for Friday, and everything looks good. It looks better than it's probably looked today forever.
It does look good.
And so they also are going to be looking and moving forward with Fuel Farm to create some revenue there. They're looking at a business after hours program on May the 14th. Everybody will receive some more information on that, but it will be to kind of showcase the airport. Attended the Recreation Board meeting, the IDA meeting, the Water and Sewer meeting, the Airport Authority meeting, and also coming out of the Airport Authority, Mr. Buster may speak on this a little bit more. We talked about the old house and a plan for that, so I'll leave that up, back to Mr. Buster. As Kathy said, they had a builders meeting yesterday. I was not able to attend that. We also are looking at having a contract, our bids let real soon for roadside vegetation. We are in the process. We've been asked, along with Kathy Jenkins, who's going to be part of the group, to develop a presentation on recreation. And we're going to present that back to their group at around the first meeting in May. We'll come back and present it to this board as well. We have some state leases that are going to be on your next agenda. Just didn't have time to review those. They came in last week. But we'll take a look at those. And also want to let you guys know, y'all have received a thank you note from Wargo's Pumpkin Patch. It just says that they want to take a moment to let you know how much they appreciate allowing them to be able to close the Johnson Road during the month of October. It made their event much safer, and says thank you guys from the bottom of their hearts for all you've done for us, and for us to be part of building a certain community. So you guys stuck that, and so I know y'all don't get a lot of, despite all the great things y'all do, you don't get a lot of thank yous, but I did want to express that. And that's all I have.
All right. Any commissioners have any questions, Mr. Dick? All right, we'll move on to reports from the county commission. Commissioner Howard?
I don't have anything at this time.
Commissioner Bray?
I just wanted to mention, I know talking with Patty last week, she had been in training for the new voting machine. And so I guess my question, I understand that there will be an event in Manchester, I believe on the 18th or the 6th, for training for the new voting machine. So I guess more or less that's the question is the board of election responsible for educating the public on how to use these new voting machines?
They are setting up, not only in this county, but other counties as well, training sessions. Now, I know in some other counties they haven't been very well attended, but the state is always right on the edge of running out of tax. It's a lot of pressure on, Patty's office, local office, but they will be training on the use of this and going through. So I would just encourage anybody who might have an issue, or people like myself that are challenged from the computer standpoint, maybe to go down and go through the tutorial.
I think it's February the 8th, it's at New Hope Baptist Church, and it's from 4 to 6, and I understand that Patty will be conducting that demonstration.
What was the date again? The 18th?
18.
I did see something about it.
That's it.
All right, the only thing I have, Mayor Cuddy, you may help me on this, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but we had a fundraiser for the animal shelter, that's not the part I need help with, on Sunday in Luthersville, and Sean wasn't here today, but they served about 66 plates of pancakes, and I think I served about 50 of those 66 plates. But they did raise about $1,500 that day in funds for the animal shelter. But the thing that I may need, Mayor Cuddy, is it was brought to my attention that day by the coroner that there is a building in Luthersville that may be available for the coroner to place a cooler in. That is are you familiar with that, Mayor Cuddy?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Is that something we could discuss now or later?
We can discuss it if you like. What it is the building that used to be the EMT building in Luthersville that has been vacated since we opened the new fire station. And as a matter of fact, last night at our city council meeting, we voted to have that property appraised with the potential of selling as residential property.
Okay.
The city council last summer approved the rezoning of that property from exempt government use to residential use. And we don't have a use for it, but that was an interesting thought, using it as a cooler.
Well, they were wanting to put a cooler in there, is my understanding. What I'm being told is that the capacity at the hospital sometimes does not meet what the hospital needs as well as what our coroner may need, especially when it is that of a decomposing body. It puts it into a different situation. So it may be something that we need to look into somewhere to be able to provide our own cooler system.
There are a lot of regulations
Right.
That go along with that, and because I know we built, so we can look at what required of it.
Right. Thank you, Mayor Cuddy. That's all I have.
Oh, I'm sorry, but go ahead. Firstly, let me back up and just, please, y'all continue to remember the Harrison family. Miss Laurie, y'all know she's over in hospice now. Mr. Gay and I were over there Monday night. All her facilities were there. She was glad to see us, but you know the outcome, so you know how that's going. So I know they would covet your prayers. And also, I got an opportunity to talk to Richard this morning, Richard Hardage. He lost his son last week in a tragic motorcycle accident. So you can imagine they're needing your prayers. I'd like to get on and just quickly make a shout out here to the road crews. I still like that report you're giving us now, that little abbreviated where I can hit the black arrows and just see what's there. And something, and of course, they've done, I think, a pretty good job out there considering everything that's out. And I even saw a personal note on that very page says, "Thank you for the work you did on Caldwell Road." So I thought that was pretty nice of somebody to do that. And as you heard earlier, we still have problem roads. I think Hill Haven's right there, and Strickland Town's right there. So we know we're still looking at those. On the airport authority meeting, Mr. Gay told you about the open house, and by that time, we hope to have our fuel farm up and going. So there'll be something there for you to see. The other thing, and like your help, if you could give it to us, we're going to have to advertise, and this will be about the third time we've done this, for the old house there that's on the airport authority. It is a safety hazard. It's going to have to be taken, moved. And when I say moved, the only alternative, we have people asking us now about disassembling it and taking the material out of it. So if we don't get run out on the rail and tar and feathers, we want to put out one more time. If anybody has an interest in moving this house, please let us know, because it is quite an antique. But anyway, I just wanted to get that out. And one other thing, the board, y'all were very gracious in giving me new appointments or reappointing most of my folks to the Lake Meriwether board, and I think that's worked out very well. We met last night, and I think there'll be a good bit we will accomplish this time. I'm hoping so. Our report, the least amount of money we've taken in down there for the, well, I guess was in January, was about $1,800. So we're doing pretty well with the proceeds we're taking in from Lake Meriwether. So I think it's pretty much looking after itself at this point. Definitely paying any caretaker we have there. Well, way more than most. But that was about all I had, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Hadley?
I just want to give the correct information for Mayor Prater's wife's funeral. Looks like there's been a change since I first looked at it. It's going to be Monday evening at 6:30 at the Harmony Church of Nazarene, and that's on the road right behind the airport. Visitation will be 1 hour prior to it, and then the burial actually is going to be in another town the next day. So it'll be Monday night, the 17th.
Monday night.
6:30 with visitation at 5:30.
And I believe her given name's Gloria.
Gloria, it is. She's been sick for some time. And that's all.
All right, thank you very much. Report from county attorney.
I have no report, other than I think we need a brief, executive session for personnel matters.
Personnel only.
I believe so.
Okay. Thank you very much. And now we move to public comments. We have one person signed up, Ms. Catherine Jenkins. If you'll just come forward and state your name and address. Go ahead, Kat. Go ahead.
Good morning, Commissioners, Chairman. My name's Catherine Jenkins. I live at 833 John Trammell Road in Grantville, Georgia. I am a member or a resident of Meriwether County. And what I want to say, and this is going to be direct, but I hope that you can refrain from calling me a dog-faced pony soldier. I know that has occurred in some other meetings.
We did hear that.
But what I wanted to ask about was, there's a friend of mine who worked on the Red Oak Covered Bridge recently. And I believe that he deserves a thank you from this board. The details of that, and I'm not here to point fingers. I'm not trying to hash out what happened. But what I believe is that there has been a serious miscommunication, and that information that was supposed to go to the commissioners, I don't know if it got to the commissioners. And response from the commissioners was not coming. And I think that it's a serious problem. If citizens cannot talk to commissioners or elected officials, then what are we doing? But let me just say some of the details of that that I heard from Monty Hurd, because he's the one who set this up. He sent a letter at the beginning of November asking for permission to work on this bridge. He detailed the wood that he had milled for this project at his own expense, the work that he planned to do, and he didn't get anything back. So he sent another email, and he didn't get anything back. He sent another email, he didn't get anything back, I believe. I'm saying maybe three emails. And then he finally came in person. And he didn't get anything in writing, but he was verbally told that he could go. So with that, I think that we have a very serious disconnect. And I think because of this disconnect, Mr. Hurd has really suffered from the public's idea that he did this without, he did this on his own, without planning. They called him a vandal, they called him a thief, and I think his reputation has suffered. So I'm asking the board to, at the very least, thank him for what he did. And then, from what I understand, I'm not an engineer, I don't know a lot about bridge building, but what I do know is that he did do quality work there, and that I don't believe there's any serious contention that it was not done well. But I also, this is the most important thing, which is that the board really needs to take a look at how communication is given to the commissioners. Thank you.
And Catherine, we don't usually comment, but what I will say to you is I had an opportunity to sit down with him and his wife last night after Lake Meriwether meeting, So I think that we're on a path of a different way. So I can't ad-lib too much on that, but to let you know, I did sit down with Ronnie and his wife last night, and we did talk about some issues in the situation, and we're gonna move forward to try to figure some more things out. So allow us a little bit of time to do some other things, but we did have a good conversation last night.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to go on the record to say all the things that have been said are not accurate. I didn't hide anything from this board. I want you guys to know that. Nailing some timbers on the board, you know, to me, when we've got everything else that's going on in this county, it's not high on my list of priorities. And when people are coming and pushing me, all the boards, close the vote, you know, that's not high on my list of priorities. Okay? And I talked to Mr. Bird as well, you understand. I never gave verbal conditions. I understand how he might have seen it. He sent me a text that, hey, can I come by and see it? We actually talked about the mail-in envelopes, the envelopes for collection of the fees. And, you know, it's just one of those things that those boards have been broken for 5 years. 5 years. So what is the urgency and why should we as staff, we get so much, we get open records for the same stuff over and over again. Beverly, sometimes I know, can pull her hair out. So we're here to try to do the work for the county, but we have to prioritize that.
Right.
And that, at that point in time, is not a priority for me. And if you guys want things such as that to be a priority, that's wonderful. But if you do that, and I take my time to call everybody and talk to them about it and explain everything, then we certainly do that. But in doing that, some of these other things that need to get done, like the LMIG turned in and all these other things, don't get done. So that's something we're going to talk about. My issue is I work for you guys and I work for the citizens of the county. When people from outside come and say, well, I want to do this, you know, I'll help them when I can. But I'm not going to drop everything else I have and do that. And I just want that to be said. And if that is the desire of the board, if you guys want me to do that, I'm more than happy to.
And as one of the
I get pulled down.
we appreciate it. We know that you don't do anything out of the way like that, so don't even think that I think that at all.
Yeah, well, no one's bothered to come and ask me my side of the story, other than I asked Ronnie to come by where he could hear my side of the story. So my issue is people get up and they want to point the finger, and they write letters and say, well, we've heard both sides. Nobody's heard my side. I'd be glad to share my side if anyone would really care to listen. And as far as controlling what people said, the only person I've ever heard say anybody had vandalized that was Bruce O'Neill. Bruce has said in the past, well, people are vandalizing it. I don't think the person's name that volunteered, name was used. We do not control that social media. We have been as big a victim of social media as anybody. When you put yourself out there and you say, hey, I'm doing this, you're subjecting yourself to the social media. I didn't confirm that. I never thought that the person who I consider a friend of mine who went and did this, I never considered him doing it out of anything other than, hey, I just like to do it. I think he was genuine and sincere. It just wasn't high on my list of priority when we're trying to close out the year with everything we've got going on. So,
and I agree, we've all been victims of that social media page. Trust me, I was criticized to extremes until I confronted somebody face on and said, listen, if I do something wrong, please put it out there. I deserve everything from it. But if it's going to be a lie, do not put it out there.
Well, and I mean, if anybody, I'll talk to anybody if they want to talk to me about it. But, you know, all this stuff gets spread. I've never been on Facebook or the social media, ever. And I don't intend on, because it's a bunch of, you know,
No accountability.
Yeah, that's right. No accountability. And,
braveness behind the keyboard.
Yeah, that's right. Step out and ask. And that's why I say, anybody has any questions for me, ask me. I'll tell you my side of the story. I told to Ronnie about it. We're fine. We were friends going in. We're friends now. I'll help him anyway. I'm also going to put in a procedure where there's no mix-up in the future, where we'll have something that has to come to you guys to get approved. But when, you know, people come and, hey, I want to do this, hey, I want to do that, hey, I want to do this, and I'm working on putting together the LMIG program or the T-Splosh, I have to do what I feel is most important at that time. And if it's a safety issue, fine, but those boards have been broken since I've been here. And the urgency of getting them done right then just didn't rise to my level of.
Well, we appreciate you, Mr. Gate. Thank you, Kathy.
I'd like to say one thing, and
3 minutes is what we have.
what Mr. Gay has
But 3
already
minutes
told.
But 3 minutes is
But
what we have.
the one thing is that
3
the
minutes.
letter was actually addressed to the commissioners,
Kathy, 3
and
minutes.
that is the important part there.
Thank you. All right, got that, and we will move into executive session. We have a need for personnel. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
All right, do I have a second?
Let's add potential litigation to that, okay, personnel and potential litigation.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right.
I'm sorry, we added litigation.
Potential litigation.
Okay, potential, litigation and personnel.
Yes. And we are, all right, have a motion and a second. All in favor? We're in executive session at 10:30.
Let me know. And I'll get you that score.
Yeah, please.